Joining the podcast today, new Dolphins offensive lineman Jack Driscoll. Jack, welcome in, man.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
So first time as a free agent, first time since like the college recruiting, right? You get a chance to go around, look for a new team. How's that process been, and why the Dolphins?
It's been a hectic week, I would say, but when my agent kind of had called and said the Dolphins were interested, I was really excited. Knowing the offense that they run here, and seeing how they use offensive linemen and get to use their athleticism, I was really excited, and I'm really excited to be here. And yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because in doing some research on your background and everything, you can almost like set a watch to it with the Dolphins and offensive linemen 10 split times. They love guys that get off the line, right? You're 174, which is the 93rd percentile for all tackles in combine history. Don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
Very highly ranked in the 10 split time. What does that explosive first step do for you in an offense like this?
It's so important, it sets you up for success, because ultimately the guys across the ball from us are great athletes as well. So being able to kind of get off and just learning from guys like, in Philly from Kelsey and Lane and whatnot, and just, that's all they talk about. Like in pass pro, that, when you are setting, it's almost like a 100-meter race is what Lane would tell us. And, kind of seeing how that translate is huge. And just like I said, whoever gets off the ball first, a lot of times has the upper hand on the play.
So it sounds like you learned a lot from your 4 years in Philly with all the veteran experience on that offensive line.
Yeah, we had some great players in the room, and I'm thankful for my time there. I think it will help me be successful here.
What's the key to being a good swing guy that can play all 5 spots?
Just having the right mindset, understand that, when you're the swing guy and you're backing up, that it's your job to, be accountable for everything. And, I always took pride in trying to make sure that when I went in that there was no drop off and that, I'm in the game, that's not the reason we lose, So just playing at a high level, and, we had a high standard in our room. I know there's a high standard in this room too, so I know it's going to be, I have to bring my best every day. There's a lot of great players in this O-line. So, just like I said, having a good attitude about it and just, studying your craft, like watching different guys, just really being prepared and just, doing the extra work after practice. Like you said, you might only get reps at right guard at practice, but you might be playing left tackle in the game. Right. So, you better get those reps somehow.
So 2 follow-ups to that, because number one, who's some guys that you have watched that you're a big fan of in terms of studying their game?
At guard, I always like to watch Zach Martin.
Mm-hmm.
He was great, at guard. We've had so many good guys in Philly, too, like Isaac, Salmalo was someone I watched a lot. Lane, obviously, playing behind him. And then, Kelsey. Kelsey is one of the best linemen of all time. And,
A lot of good options there. Something else I've heard Coach McDaniel talk about before is something you touched on. It was coming into a game cold. And he kind of compared offensive line play to like quarterback in terms of how tough it can be to like, you're up right now. Go block Aaron Donald, right, on this snap. I'm curious, how challenging is it? What have you learned from when, pregame warm-ups was 3 hours ago. You haven't taken a rep since then, and it's the middle of the fourth quarter. We have to get a game-winning drive. Jack, you're in for the first rep. Like, how challenging is that, and what did it teach you as a player?
It just teaches you to be accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Be it's like life. Be ready at any time. You never know what that's going to throw at you. And at the end of the day, like I said, is just having that team first emphasis on when I go in, whether it's like you said, the last drive of the game or the first play or whatever it is, like it's on you to get the job done. And like I said, you have teammates counting on you, coaches counting on you, and just it's like the whole thing about drawing your strength from the guys around you and just, being tight with that core of the guys. Just understand, like I said, us 5 are out here to get the job done, and no matter which 5 it is, we all have the same goal. So.
Yeah, 5 guys, 1 position, 1 player, really, right? It's all one continuity.
5-wheel drive.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. We'll have to bring that up to Coach here later on. I always love asking guys about reunions, and you don't really have anybody you played in the pros with here, but I do know you played against 2 of our best players back in college, Tua and Waddle. What do you remember about those guys at Alabama?
I remember Waddle was when we played in the Iron Bowl against Waddle. It was one of the most impressive against Joe, and it was one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen. I believe he had 5 touchdowns. I think he had like a kick return, a punt return, and 3 touchdowns. So we're like, holy crap! We're doing everything we can, and this guy is just absolutely torching us. We did win the game, though. I will say we did win that game, but he was unbelievable. And Tua, the same thing. Tua is such a great player. When he played him, I think it was 18. They blew us out, and he was balling. So. Excited to now play against those guys, and now to get to be teammates with them is gonna be really cool, and I know how special players they are.
There's a screenshot from that Waddle kick return where one of your guys he's not going to catch him, but he tries his hardest and lays out, and he's like Waddle's in a full sprint, he's like Superman behind him. It's one of my favorite pictures in football history.
When he gets going, there's nothing.
Yeah, if you're behind him, it's showing the tail lights and wave goodbye. 2 more here for you here. So your birthday is a holiday. And it's got to be the toughest day besides maybe Christmas or Thanksgiving. It's like for a kid that wants to have a different birthday than Christmas, the presents all go together. But a birthday on April Fool's, man, that could either play into your hands as like the ultimate tool, or I feel like it could backfire as the most exhausting experience. What has been your experience on April 1st birthday?
It's been up and down, man. I mean, I've had like, I remember my mom one day, she packed me a bunch of Oreos for school. I'm like, man, I never get, Oreos. And I took one bite and it was, it was toothpaste. And,
no.
So just stuff like that. But I like to say I have a birthday. And yeah, like you say, it's tough because those guys who celebrate Christmas, their birthday is getting forgotten. It's just all mashed together. So it's a good birthday. Kind of start of spring, you know what I mean? Good weather, March Madness, so it's always an interesting birthday, I'll say that.
So I mentioned doing background on you. Went to your Instagram, saw that you got engaged in Florida.
I did get engaged in Florida.
And that was an inlet beach, right?
Yeah, down like Rosemary, but 30A. Yeah.
Little different on the Panhandle than South Florida, right?
Yeah, a little slightly different.
Yeah, what do you think is the difference between those two parts of our state here, which is basically its own country?
There's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, I grew up coming to Florida, so I grew up. I'm coming to Miami a bunch, but just the heat all year round. Just kind of the pace of it's a little bit more quaint, I would say, up on the Panhandle, whereas South Florida is kind of the hustle and bustle. More busy, more of a young scene and whatnot. But I think both are great. I love the state of Florida. I'm proud to be able to play it out here and call home.